I think the answer to that question is easy. And in one word, it is uncertainty. Policymakers have to take the world as it is. And a simple fact of life is that fundamental uncertainty is everywhere. And so policy has to take place in that world. And if you think about how people formulate policy decisions, it's usually a pretty poorly framed question. They haven't had a decade to puzzle over it and to weed out and think about the right way to put it. So it's a badly framed question. It has to deal with a fundamentally uncertain world where we're not quite sure. The data is contested. The models we've got to use are contested. And you usually have limited resources and not much time to come up with an answer. That's policy making. Okay, in theory terms, well, we've kind of abstracted from some of those difficulties. We build models which are representations, they're partial representations of reality, and they sidestep some parts. And in my view, the crucial part that they have sidestepped is this uncertainty. We've taken it away and made it risk. Now, the problem with doing that is, while it makes the mathematics all nice and simple, it has this difficulty that you put a gap between the models and reality when you start excluding the uncertainty. Uncertainty doesn't disappear from the real world just because you don't put it in your models. It just makes your models less applicable to the real world because they don't take this into account. So I think there's a very real difference. Another way to look at this, which I think is quite a fun way, there used to be in discussions about science and philosophy of science, a profound difference between what is a theory and what is a model. And I think it was Goethe who said that theories are the ultimate non-metaphor. They have to take the world as it is and try to explain it. So, theories are things like Adam Smith's theory, Karl Marx. These are big ideas about how the world really is. And then models are just little windows on this. They're partial representations, they're abstractions, they're incomplete. And so the very essence of science should be to challenge those models and not to sort of defend them to the last. That should be the essence of science. And that is really where academic economics is in looking at models. And there's no attempt to denigrate that at all. It's a great thing to do, but we should be much more challenging all of our different models. But theory is a much deeper side, and policymaking has to deal with the world as it really is. And the closer we can make the models try to take the world as it is, the more constructive I think they'll be for policymakers. And in my view, the biggest thing to try and incorporate is how do we take on board fundamental uncertainty so it's much more policy relevant than I think it is today.